This works. Okay, what's your name?
Rain.
Rain?
Yeah, Rain Joseph.
Rain, like the
Yeah.
like what makes us hot right now? Rain?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Richard and Rain
Mm-hmm.
in an interview about stuff. Could you peek my camera to see if I'm in it? Please.
We'll make sure this thing. Yeah.
Am I in it?
It needs to be up more. No, have your face getting cut off.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there. Yeah.
Yeah, we sure? You sure?
Yeah.
Is it too much bush on this side? Are you
It's
seeing bush?
fine. It's no bush.
No bush?
Yeah.
Is it dirty? Any dirt?
I don't think somebody will be able to tell.
Go, come on. Just gonna go somewhere. Show somebody somewhere. Dirt?
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yes,
no,
it's fine.
It can be just fine.
I mean, it can be just fine. It was fine to me.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm not gonna interview you to tell me good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you tell me your full name?
Full name?
Yeah.
Richard Lewis.
Okay.
But my middle name is QM, so I signed Richard QM Lewis.
Alright. Where did you gain your secondary and tertiary education? And did you get any education in art or anything?
I went to Presentation College Chigonas from Form 1 to 6. I repeated Form 5. They didn't have an art program, so I just pretty much self-study from age 1 up until I eventually went to foreign. So I went to Florida, Brevard Community College, and they changed the name from Brevard Community College to Eastern Florida State College. Right? There's where I did graphic design, but they had an art program as well. And after that, I came back to Trinidad after several years, and I finished my degree in graphic design at Costat. So I got a bachelor's degree and an associate's degree. So in that time frame of study.
All right. Do you have like any certificates and stuff like that?
Certificates? No.
Yeah. All right.
Certificates would just be the degrees.
Yeah.
And again, I do a lot of self-study. So lots of YouTube, lots of observation. And I might have done a couple of short courses in between, but no real certificates to say, well, I have a bunch of certificates. It's just pretty much, as an artist, you do a lot of self-study, a lot of reading, writing, studying the masters, studying people who you like, and whatever influences you, it's pretty much your certificate of experience and knowledge. That's what influences your art.
Okay, so how was your experience in the school in foreign? Like, how did they have anything different from here and stuff like that?
Well, the experience of being away is massive. So I only left to go to school at about 24, right? I didn't really have much understanding of what I wanted to do, and the time frame, I worked in a bank for a while, I worked in 2 banks for a while, so just kind of having support financially to do what I wanted to do. So when I went away, it was a brand new experience for everything. The first time I went to school, the first day actually, was rushed, I was late. And I went to Art 101, which is the first foundational class, my first ever art class, ever. Got rejected because I came late, class was over full. But what I remember was walking into the art room with my aunt at the time. Oh, she's still my aunt. My aunt and the instructor, and the international student counselor person. We walked in to beg to see if I could get in, because that's the only class I wanted to get into. Like the only thing that, well, if I'm here in a foreign country for the first time ever, doing art for the first time, I should be doing art, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that made me feel comfortable in the space. But I got rejected. But what I remember was walking into the art room. It was quiet, it was dark. They rushed in, and I took my time. I in, took a deep breath, and just allowed myself to absorb everything. And what I noticed was the smell. Because you went from a lit corridor, white with all the art on the walls and sculpture and things like that, and then you enter in this dark room, perfect scenery like a movie. Enter in a dark room, and your eyes adjusting. So the first thing that you pick up is the class went quiet because they just barged in, and then you start to smell. The smell is like opening a pencil case.
Like the wood and thing.
You smell the wood, you smell the charcoal, you smelling paint, you smelling the atmosphere, you smelling paper, and then as your eyes adjust, then you start to see the mannequins and the easels and all the tools you're gonna get to use at some point. So the first experience was being rejected, and I know the way how the conversation is going that I'm getting a no. The class is full, overfull. And she says, Richard, do you have a sketchbook? You need a sketchbook. So I spent the whole first year, drawing my sketchbook consistently, every day, drawing my sketchbook. Whatever I could see, just getting myself back into the groove of things. And then 2, spending time, every time on campus, rehearsing how to get there. Different ways to get to the art room, different ways to see the students, different ways to just look at how the art is being put on the walls, who are the artists, what they do, people in the art room to see who is there when they're not there. Just immersing myself so much so that when I do get in, it's already rehearsed.
Okay.
I know what's happening.
You're familiar with the surroundings.
Familiar with the surroundings, familiar with what I want to do. And of course, drawing lets my mind wander. So yes, I'm drawing with a purpose. I'm drawing to get in. I'm drawing to kickstart myself to get in. So all those things just kind of made my first year of getting into a foreign school for art and graphic design much more cushioned, much more welcome, if that makes sense.
Okay. So was it like always a passion to do art or something, or did it have something lead up to it? Was it like always I wanted to do art, or did something like catch you by surprise or anything?
Passion is an interesting word. When you sent me the questions, I did not look up the word passion. And passion is one of those words where I don't know what it feels like, I don't know what it means really, right? But what I could say is, just based on my growing up, my upbringing, my house and my family has always been a bit traumatic. You know, it's a lot of, I want to say, moving around and maybe some fights and it's not already settled. Yeah. So as a small person, I was drawing on the walls, I was drawing on the book. I was an only child for a long time, so that was my only. Of course, there wasn't really many people my age as well. So again, the only child amongst adults, amongst a bit of chaos, and that was my only bit of heaven. Just doodling, drawing. And of course, you see babies drawing on walls, and you're not too sure. But at some point, I remember somebody taking a photograph of me drawing on the wall. And when I went away and I found my family and they were taking care of me, they showed me the picture of me as a toddler drawing on the wall, my face like this, tongue out the mouth. So from a young age, I was just trying to escape the noise and understanding the tools and enjoying what I'm doing. But to say it's a passion, I'm not quite sure. It's just a bit of escape to draw, to express myself that way. I did not have many books to read, and books to read felt difficult at the time. But I had an attraction to comic books and cartoons, even at 4, 5. So again, being left alone to your own devices, like you might have been left.
So it's always like just there.
It's always just there, and it's the easiest thing to do. You have a book, you have a pen, a pencil, a crayon, a piece of paper, a piece of wall, something, and you just, all right, stick man. what makes you happy? Thing. Circles. Just get your hand in action. Oh, what is this? White out. Or what is this? Nail polish. Oh, what is this? I don't know. How does it feel? Put your finger in it, and then you make a mess, and then, oh, that's early age. But when you start to become more aware, my mom told me at some point in time, early on, I would sit in front of the TV and look at the cartoons and try to draw them while it's happening. She didn't tell me that until I'm this age.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm doing that at that age and I have different periods of time of drawing, then you could have said like, oh, go ahead, keep doing that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always a passion to say. It was just something I like to do, and it became natural because I'm doing it so often, and I eating it, sleeping it, breathing it all the time, just looking at stuff all the time. Even when I'm not drawing, I'm still working. I'm looking at the light, I'm looking at the shadows, I'm looking at the texture. So, and then again, not studying it from young age, before 10, and even during secondary school. It's just more observation and copying to put it into work, and then combining things to see how best it can come out. So again, not really a passion, it's just, it might have grown into a passion because it makes you feel a certain way.
Okay, so what art style do you primarily use?
Art style?
Yeah.
I would say it's very illustrative, and it's probably influenced from my time with cartoons, comic books, and video games. I played a lot of video games in my teens, so I'll draw the characters, I'll draw the things from TV, I'll try to combine, let's say, a Street Fighter character with a Mickey Mouse character, just trying to doodle it out and see how best it works. Tracing was a big thing at the time, so everything for me, just trying to understand how to get the lines to work. So I would say it's a very heavy illustrative style. The styles, it's a lot of punchy colors, very, I would say, kind of aggressive colors, strong lines, strong shapes, just to get it into that space, just based on of course, the influence of the illustrative people at the time.
Okay. Have you held any exhibitions, and what was the general response to the exhibitions?
My exhibition, the most recent exhibition was in August of this year. It was a joint exhibition. It was actually my first exhibition, really, other than student. So while at school, I would have been involved in the art department, and they would have every year at the end of the semester or the end of the year, there would be a big function, a big performance, and in the lobby, you had to put up your art, right? And get it sold if you want to have it sold. But it was juried, meaning that they would have, you can't just put work and get in. You had to get it judged. So all the artists in school was getting judged to put in the show. Recently, three guys from the space I was going in to do live drawing, I was asked to be part of the show with them. So that was the first time I had 15 to 20 pieces of art, first time, and it was tough. But generally, the response was really good in that it felt familiar. The colors, they all commented on the colors, how punchy the colors was. They felt connected to the art because of the line quality and the colors and the shots, how I portrayed of course it was nude models, but how I drew the models was interesting to them. It wasn't grotesque, it wasn't anything like that. It was just, oh, I could show my children these drawings. I could put it up in my house. I could show people this was welcome bits of art.
So overall, good response.
Overall, good response.
All right. What is your present working status? Are you like a full-time artist or anything, or just on-off thing, one in time, my time, or something like that?
As a creative person, I'm always creative, right? I do graphic design full-time. I've been doing graphic design for about 15 years or so. And, but art in general, I've been away from the art platform for a while. What I realized is that, yes, I have art from since I was 10 in a little book, but the collection of art goes in groups. So, and it seems as though whenever I'm going through a life change or some kind of trauma is happening, I start to draw consistently, all the time. Just get it out my head, and the subject matter would either be happy or a bit of turmoil or complicated or mixed with words and stuff like that. So it's not all the time. It seems as though it's periodically.
Okay.
However, I would like to continue doing art. Like for this show, I drew consistently for 4 months to prepare for the show or prepare for the exhibition. But before that, probably a year before, I had just returned to drawing live, like drawing live models and stuff like that. So this period of 2 years, so to speak, yeah, roughly 2 years, has been consistent, well, relatively consistent drawing compared to before when I was just so caught up in being a graphic designer and just doing little doodles to get design done that it wasn't expressive work, it's just work to make money.
Okay. So, what is your best work today? What would you say is your best work today?
I'm not quite sure if I could quantify the best work to date. The best work to date might be the work that was sold in the art show or the ones that has the most comments on in the art exhibition. But I don't have the best. The best work is always the best work you're doing now, right? You would see the best work you do now tomorrow and like it, and then the day after, like,
Yeah.
When you compare the work you do today with the work you did yesterday, like the work
Or like
you
a
did
week ago or something.
Exactly. So I don't have the best work to date. The graphic design work, just based on working at Ogilvy, one of the advertising agencies here, it won some awards. It wasn't all my work. It's actually a group. So somebody has the information from the client, somebody has the idea, or I might have the idea, and then we work together to get it looking spectacular.
Okay.
And then you have billboards and stuff like that, so you finally get your work shown, and it's big, but nobody knows who you are. But it's kind of good when you drive down the highway and you see your billboard up. It's like, oh, I worked on that for that client, and that's pretty good. So it's a really good feeling like that.
Okay.
So to date, I don't have best work, but I have a lot of work I really like, knowing that, okay, cool, I could do better. Knowing that each piece of work I do has a story behind it. So you can look at your work from 10 years ago and realize, like, oh, I was going through this at this point in time, and I like it because of this.
Yeah.
You might see the line quality or the colors and be like, oh yeah, I was trying to get it jamming, punchy, or I want to tell the story this way and I didn't do it. But now I have the same, I understand it better, so now I could probably recreate the same piece of artwork with an advanced bit of knowledge on the thought, or a bit of advanced knowledge on how to use the tools to get what you want now.
What is like your preferred medium to work with? Is it like paint, or is it like pastels or something like that, or pens or ink?
The easiest piece of thing is a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Easiest thing. I really like doing like my sketchbook right there. Easiest thing. A pen and a piece of paper. Just scribble and do it however you like. It's really nice. It's really, you don't have to correct it too much. Pastels are nice because of the punchiness of the colors. And because I really like the colors, I'm always searching for a new way to get the colors jamming, right? So at first it was pencils, color pencils, all right, more color. You try to go bigger, color pencils don't work, markers kind of iffy. I got pastels, didn't know how to use it. Started using pastels, really liked it, started blend like crazy. Then I found oil pastels. People say oil pastels is nonsense, they don't like it. So now I'm into oil pastels because I'm combining my pen technique with my love of color, and it's again bringing back the life into my art, bringing my life back into what I want to do. And I'm seeing, all right, cool, oil pastels have a bit of problems. I don't like it too much. The next level up will be paint. Watercolor paint? Yes, okay, cool. How? I don't know. So there's a learning space I need to grow into. How big I want to go? This big or this big or massive?
Yeah.
Which means that you need to understand how much paint you want to use. Oil paint's another thing that I haven't used yet. Everyone says oil paint takes too long and whatever.
Because it like takes a while to dry.
Takes a while to dry and stuff like that. So like, all right, cool. If I want to go to having bigger pieces, I may need to go to oil paint. All right. So that means another bit of learning and growth to go into. Am I going to do oil paint alone, or am I going to do oil paint plus watercolor? Am I going to do oil paint plus house paint? Am I going to do oil paint plus pastels? So preferred medium right now is pens, ballpoint pens, and oil pastels.
Okay.
That's it.
So what difficulties did you face in getting where you are now? And what difficulties do you like continue to face right now?
Really and truly, it is myself. I feel as though I did not have as much support as an artist, and financially and emotionally and stuff like that. So again, art has been my counselor, art has been my outlet. Nobody has been instructing me on art, right? So just being able to, all right, cool, balance your books, balance your day-to-day stuff, which is going to school or going to your job or taking care of your family or taking care of your room or just doing just the everyday things is one. And then flipping the script to be involved in your own space, because you know that when you get involved in art, you could get lost for days. I get lost for days, or I have been lost for days doing art or playing video games. Just get it into it. And having that balance is the hardest or the most challenging part of being an artist, I believe, right? I would like to become more in the art space. However, the thought process of, or what I've heard growing up, is that artists don't make money. And that's stuck in my head for a long while. So I've been trying to do this, and then do this, and then realize, oh, I can't do this because it doesn't make money. So because of outside influences as a young person, so you need to just do this one thing. But this one thing doesn't make me happy all the time. This is what actually makes me happy. This is what makes me fulfilled. This is what makes others happy. This is what other people enjoy when you express yourself this way creatively. Yeah? So the biggest challenge, I believe, is being able to balance yourself, understand the cues that happen, that when your brain not feeling too good, your body not feeling too good, you have stuff to do. How do you balance all these things to get the best out of yourself and enjoy the thing that you want to partake in?
Okay. So what advice would you give to an aspiring artist or an art student?
Advice. Well, there's a lot of advice, actually. Practice. First of all, practice. Learn as much as you can all the time. You might not have the time to put your hand on paper. You have a phone, practice taking pictures, take video, record. Somebody told me, I think it might have been my first art teacher as well. Well, all of my art people, whether it is in foreign countries or locally, teachers, artists, something called a visual vocabulary. Develop a visual vocabulary as much as you can. Whether it's just looking at the glass, see how the water moves, looking at the flowers, looking at the birds, just look and observe and record it in your mind, record it in your book. Practice, that's one. Next thing too is learn to listen to yourself. Figure out how to listen to the voice inside, because the voice inside will guide you to say, well, all right, cool. Now you can squeeze in that 5 minutes. Your head not feeling too good. You need to sleep. You need to eat. You need to listen to people who are around you. You need to figure out if what they're saying aligns with what you're doing, or if what they're saying has good intent or not. So being able to develop a voice on the inside and listen to that and practice may be the two most important things. Also, having an idea of where you want to go, what you want to do. And you may not have an idea of the full picture at the end, but what I've discovered is that your sketchbook or your journal is really important. So write down as much as you can what your vision is for yourself, what your vision is for your future, where you want to go with your art. What does this look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What would I be doing at this point in time? What would be cool? What would be fun? Because at some point in time, I have, again, a lot of things written down that has come to pass that I didn't know. It's just like, oh, it would be kind of cool to go to England. I would like to go to England and just do some stuff. And I end up going, right? I didn't plan it all proper in my mind. But when I check back all the documents, all the paperwork, all the old drawings. It's like, oh, go here, do this, do this, do this. So if you have an idea and it's floating about in your mind, it's a good thing practice, because we are what I call translators. We operate in this quiet space and pull it out and then put it here. So the first act of doing that is put it on paper, write it down. If you have an idea, write it down. If you're thinking about food, write it down. Put it down as much as you can. And then, so you write it down now, 2 days later you could go back to it and like, ooh, I had a thought here. You could build on the thought, you could scrap it down, you could add details, and then put it away. And your mind, in the quiet space, will start to figure it out. And then when you reach to where you are, it's like, oh, I already have record of this, I already know what I want to do, I already have an idea, I'm here. All right, cool. What did I want to do when I got to this point? It's already written down. I could check my notes. Yeah. So those are the things I think are very important for a young artist. Again, 1, recording your work. 2, practicing your craft, learning your craft as much as you can. And what is that? 4, trying to understand how to listen. Where the voice coming from? The voice up here is your brain, right? That voice is calculation. You don't want to be in your head too much. The real voice is your gut. The gut instinct, gut voice. You could figure out how to listen to that as much as you can. Your parents may be able to help you listen to your gut, and doing exercise and holding a meditation, or just being involved in your craft. When you're involved in your craft, you stop being up in your head and you start going away into thoughts, and you realize that whatever you're hearing coming up, it comes up to your brain and then goes back to where you are. So once you get involved in being something creative and you could pay attention to it, you realize that, oh, that is the voice of what you're doing. So yeah, that's like 4 things. Yeah.
All right, would you be willing to mentor a young artist like myself?
Sure. What does that mean?
Like, do you think you'll be able to be like a teacher and stuff?
A teacher and stuff.
I don't know how to phrase it properly. Like, do you think you would be able to teach me properly and guide me and stuff like that?
I could teach you. I don't know how proper is proper. I could show you some stuff. It all depends on what you want, I think. Working together, you'll be able to ask me questions. I could show you some stuff. It all depends on, again, what you want, what you've written down, what's interesting to you. Again, I may not be the person who understands it all, but helping you think, helping you understand, all right, where your voice is, what your voice is saying, what's your brain saying, how does that work? That's pretty much what I could help you with. And of course, you develop the techniques as you go along. So yeah, I think I could definitely be able to do some mentorship.
Okay. So do you feel the need to improve, and what helps you the most in improving?
You need to improve? Yeah. You never stop. You never, ever stop. Never stop. If you realize in yourself that you're doing this thing over and over and over again, from however small you're doing this, and it's not because, oh, art is cool now, you never had a pen in your hand, you don't know what you're doing, you just want to jump in now. You always want to learn. You always want to see something cool, like, ooh, plants moving this way, the light is this way, you want to try that. Or, I like red, I like blue. They say red and blue don't work together. Why? Then you want to, so you're always trying to learn as much as you can. But you're not always trying to learn just your art. So, presentation college, science and business, no art. But you go away, you're not just going to be doing art alone. You might be doing biology, chemistry.